distance is 100
Yeah,
meters.
I think it was definitely a crinoid.
Bearing is 317.
Oh, just 100 now.
So if we keep coming at 310, we'll be
We
able
thought
to
we had
come up
also seen
around
a small bushy translucent coral colony. It could have been a chrysogorgid.
Right, and I heard you say that on the phone, and
Yep.
you know, there's a difference between the phone and the screen, and when I looked at the screen, I was looking at the yellow thing, so it may have just been a different timing issue.
Yep.
All right, I think we can call the next move in.
Copy that, I'll call it in now.
Great, thank you.
Bridge, this is ROV now. Like to make another move. Exact same thing, 50 meters at 310 degrees, speed decimal 2.
I would say there's been an increase in density, though, in these stock
Good copy,
crinoids.
Bridge, thank you.
I agree. I agree to that.
As we move up on top of this mound, we would expect currents to be accelerated around the topography, potentially increasing food resources for attached fauna. Even though these stocked crinoids aren't necessarily attached, they are more or less sessile or not highly mobile. They can if they want to be.
They're able to shed their stock and regenerate a new one if needed, if they're getting chased by some predator. Or they could drag their stock along and move along with their arms.
Pilot, I'm just going to turn my heading to see if something in sonar follows me. Copy that. Don't be alarmed.
Pilot, this is watch lead.
Yeah, watch lead, go ahead.
If it's at all possible, as we get to the top of this mound, it may be of interest to look off in the distance more. If it's navigationally possible, to see if there are fishes in the distance that are keeping their distance.
Yeah, I can do that. Do you want to zoom in off to the distance, or just have the camera pointed upward?
Have the camera pointed upward. Yeah, that would be ideal.
Yep.
And then we can zoom if we see something. But I figure if these fishes, like yesterday, they were pretty skittish, and if we can at least see when they start to come into the light, then we can try to strategize our identification and sampling of their and zooms.
Copy that.
It looks like maybe we're coming up on another sea pen.
Do you want to zoom on this side?
It looks like the one that we identified before, so.
Copy that. Moving on.
But if you have a second and this is a fun view, it's okay, you're past it. Don't go back. Don't go back.
Is that a request to see it?
Yes, if it's any way possible, if you could zoom in.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's just when we were getting the really good close-ups before, we were on the back side of the colony, so we haven't seen the front
video.
face of the colony close-up, I believe.
Okay, coming in. Oh, okay.
well, this is an entirely different thing.
Yeah, it's a different species.
Like, this is a black coral, I think.
Zooming in more, pilot.
Yeah, take
so
it.
that they can see what it is.
Yeah, this looks like an
Black
actual black coral.
This is not a sea pen at all, actually.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, you could tell that it's a black coral because of the skeleton.
Well, that helps. Certainly, you can see the tissue is so
camera's
thin.
looking
You can
down
see
at
the
pilot.
main axis is
Copy
black.
that.
But it's because of the size
Video
of the
looks like
polyps.
our
If you
last
look along those
views.
branches,
Okay.
you almost
Okay.
can't see polyps. It
I
looks
wanna
like
come
there
out
are
for a full
tentacles
specimen.
arising directly
Copy that.
from
For science
the
and
branch,
lasers.
and that's
You
just the structure
yeah,
of these
lasers
this
are out.
particular
Yeah.
black coral polyps. They're really, really thin.
Okay, video is ready.
All right.
Thank you.
Good. Come out. We'll
Coming
move
out.
on.
Pilot, I'm going to
That's
cycle
cool,
your
Mike.
tether cam.
Copy.
There it is.
Did it shut off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or something went wrong. It's
Yeah.
been doing it a couple times, or did it a couple times so far. Still nothing in sonars. We're moving along. Just 70 meters to the top. So not a lot of hard bottom here, but the sediment appears to be consolidated. The majority of the organisms in this area are echinoderms, sideroidotrons, several stalked crinoids, occasionally a sponge, and one of the black corals we just saw. No evidence yet of deep water snappers or groupers. We've seen quite a number of fishes down deep. Nothing too huge. Depth right now is around 480 meters. Temperature around 13.9 degrees C. And oxygen concentration around 3 milliliters per liter. For the most part, oxygen and temperature have gradually increased over the dive.
I think that this is real. Yeah?
Yeah, it's getting closer. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
just
we're almost
heading?
done with that other dive. We can change heading if you'd like.
Yeah, after this move, turn a little starboard.
So we
maybe.
are approaching kind
I
of
guess it could
the
be the
top of
ridge.
this mound.
If there's a ridge.
Yeah.
We still have some
Okay,
ways.
I'll let this move finish and have pilot line up.
But
When
the
he
site
believes
is
the ridge will be,
located
then we'll
on
make a
the
move that
edge
way.
of a
Perfect.
really important extensive mesophotic reef
yeah, it's
system
very
called
clear.
the
Yeah,
Marine
you can-
Conservation District, also
That's-
known as
I
the
think it's good
MCD.
to see it.
Yeah, so
This
focused
area
on
has
mine.
been fully protected from
Better in
fishing
yours.
since 1999, in full collaboration with the fishermen in the area.
So it looks like there's a bit of a ledge in the immediate distance. This could be the top of the mound here.
Good copy, Bridge. Thank you. Pilots, that move has been completed. If you'd like to set up for the next one to get us over the ridge.
Copy
We'll
that.
call it in.
Yeah, I'll start turning to starboard. a giant
Is that a
sponge.
float?
Sponge.
Centered.
What is that?
It's a sponge.
Looks like a sponge.
So
Demo
DC's
sponge.
almost there. Maybe we should just
Possibly.
move 10 meters or so.
Yeah, I'm looking 345, or you're looking 340.
Yeah, maybe 15. That'll get me right over it if we're going to turn to port and head up.
Copy that. 15 meters at 348.
340 is my heading.
340. Copy
Yeah.
that.
Sounds good to me.
Can we zoom on the sponge?
Yeah, copy that. Just give me 1 second video. Get a little closer.
Bridge, this is ROV now. Looking to make another move. 15 meters at 340 degrees. Speed 0.2.
Get rid of lasers, Copilot.
This looks like a
Okay,
sponge we
lasers.
haven't seen yet on this
Yeah.
dive.
Good copy, Bridge.
Alright,
Thank
video,
you.
you can go ahead and come in.
Okay, coming in. That's partial.
Does it look like a demo sponge or a glass sponge?
I would say a demo sponge,
Coming back to center.
but I'm not sure. Kind of looks like a geodia, but if there's any shore team scientists that maybe possibly know
I'm
this
not
species.
sure. I suspect Nolan could offer an opinion here. If it is, it's a real
I'm going to
clean
come in
one.
more.
Yeah,
And
take what you want. Start
I
at the
don't
top.
recall. I think we're pretty close to the end, but if it is Geodia, that's an aspired collection target.
Yeah, we were basically right on the last bit of our dive, maybe about 30 minutes, or sorry, 30 meters to our last waypoint or so. So, we have some time here.
Alright, I'm going to scroll down video.
Okay, sounds good.
We want to make sure that we get around or follow
Go to the
this
base.
crest as much as possible to see if there are any occurrences of deep water snappers or groupers. But yeah, this is what are the dimensions on this pilot? Do we have lasers at
I
your
think it was
convenience?
just over 10 centimeters in width.
Okay, so
I
not
can
enormous, but
Come out, pilot.
Sure, yeah.
So check out the lasers.
Yeah, lasers.
put them on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, science, you can see that right there.
Maybe on the higher end, maybe closer to 20 in length.
Alright, come wide video.
Okay, coming wide. Okay, that's full wide.
If we can get an ID on that sponge, or even if not, we know where it is. We're not too far. We can always come back. Do you want to drop a target on that sponge, Nav? Or
Will do.
just a little bit behind D2 now?
Yep.
Yeah, science, if you want more time on that, just let me know.
We'll give our shoreside chat room an opportunity to respond. And, we won't go too far, but
Looks like there's
it's good to check out what's on top of this.
more in the distance.
What are we calling this sponge?
Would you call it a buoy?
20 centimeter sponge.
Buoy sponge? So it's side to side. I'm going to take a step up now.
I mean,
Looks like there's a nice feature in that head.
yeah, it's cool.
Oh, we have a pretty big ledge
Oh yeah.
in front of us.
So there actually is a bit of it's not as much of a gentle slope kind of mound as we were expecting. It's more of these terrace-like formations.
And a lot of times, fish at this depth use these terrace formations for protection or refuge. So we might be able to identify some of these deep water species.
We did zoom on a couple of these black corals recently, right? Did we get an idea
Yeah.
of this?
Do you want to check that?
Well,
check that out.
we
Pilot?
can zoom again because
Yeah.
you weren't.
I was curious if they were the same as the stylopathes
like
we
in
were
the
seeing
back.
earlier.
On the back.
They
Yeah,
look
there's a
very
lobster in the
similar.
back or something.
I was at
There's
the back.
something like with that crinoid
Do a snap zoom.
snaps in.
It's a
The
rock.
Oh. Oh, it's
good
a rock.
copy, Bridge. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, you come
Coming
wide.
by.
All right, science. Anything in view you want zooms on? I think I heard some chatter.
Yeah, I mean, we got zooms on this particular black coral. Although, actually, can we go back into that black coral? I think I see it branching near the top.
The one dead center?
Yeah, and that might be interesting to note because I thought they were unbranched.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get lasers.
Yeah, you can see two branches at the base as well. And
Okay, coming in.
there's certainly
Thanks,
some
good pilot.
parantopathes that have a general shape like this that also branch. I'm not saying that this is parantopathes, but there is still some things to be learned about the overall colony morphology of some of these black coral species.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because unbranched, it resembles stylopathes or a relative of it. And
I have more zoom, Pilot.
as
Yeah,
we
why don't we go right on the branching center? You can take a video, yeah.
Okay, coming in.
there's also some branching at the bottom, Pilot, that we can take a look at if we have time.
Yeah, copy that. All right, video, I'm going to
Okay,
scroll down.
I'm
I
ready.
didn't recall seeing any branching on the last one. We zoomed that just a few moments ago, but chirostylid crab here. Yeah, so it's not a regular branching pattern, but there are two branches at the bottom and then one at the top.
Sorry, video.
You're good.
Looks like there's also an arrow crab right at the base.
All right, video, whenever you're happy.
Okay, I'm ready.
We were happy back here.
Great.
Okay, that's full wide.
How about I move 10 meters closer so you can get to the wall? Yeah.
Copy that. Same heading.
Yeah, I'm 335 now.
Okay. Should I change to 335? Copy that. 10 meters at 335. Bridge, this is ROV nav. Would like to make another move, please. It will be range of 10 meters, 10 meters at 335 degrees, speed decimal 2.
Oh
Good
yeah,
copy, Bridge.
well,
Thank you.
okay. These
Watch
are
your,
some
upper swing arms. on
more
it.
dramatic
I think you're good.
outcroppings.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I see that.
Vertical.
In the center, top middle of the screen, just passing center now, there's a large branching structure.
I'm just going to do a quick
Yep.
side-to-side view. Watch leads.
Oh, that's a crinoid.
Yeah, it looks like there might be some things to look at here.
All right, I'll come back center, and then, yeah, just let me know if you want views on anything.
Yeah, could you zoom in on this branching, white branching?
Yeah. All right, video. Go for zoom.
Okay, coming in for zoom. Okay, I'm going to hold here.
Copy.
Ah, this looks like bamboo coral.
Oh yeah, that's definitely looks like a bamboo.
Let's see if there's
Although we'll
something
get
on
a
the
better
right
image of it.
attached to it.
Yeah, copy.
There might be a skate egg case on it on the right side
Get
there.
rid of lasers.
that's
from
right.
that.
Yeah, could be a skate or some sort of cat shark potentially. Haven't seen any evidence of fishes.
Yeah, and Stacey, there's also something kind of funky behind this bamboo coral on the slope. I can't tell if it's a really thick crinoid or some kind of coral
Anywhere
or
particular
what.
on this wash?
Is
Like,
it-
Seeing it has yellow
so?
tissue at the base, I would suspect that this is going to be in the S1 clade.
S1.
Bamboo coral.
Zoom in more.
Ah,
Pilot,
okay.
Related
More-
perhaps to
sure.
claderite.
Yeah, just
For the polyps.
Thank you.
That's max zoom.
copy.
You know, I was just looking through my notes from the Anegada passage, and I have this exact same coral at about this exact same depth as well. So it was sampled once from the Anegada passage at 525 meters. So that's, you know, not too far from where we are now, and same yellow base, same branching pattern. So I also noted S1 clade. So that's good that we're in agreement there.
Pilot, can you possibly zoom on the crustacean on the bamboo coral?
Great copy, Bridge. Thank you.
Zooming out.
Copy
Pilot.
that.
To look for crustacean. There we go.
Pilot, I'm going to turn my head just to see along the ridge. If that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, go for it. All right, video.
Okay.
Do you want zoom back in on crustacean?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sorry, that was my mistake. Should have specified. Is this what you want, watch lead?
Yes, please, Pilot.
Yep.
Oh yeah. It doesn't look occupied, the egg case at least, but chirostylid is definitely. It looks like one we've seen before on some of the other black coral colonies, and, Caligorgia colonies we've come across.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Coming back
do you want
out.
me to come out? Okay.
Go like that. Are you good with
There you
that,
go, Pilot.
watch lead?
Yes, thank you.
Copy. Kicked up some dust.
Excellent.
So uphill is probably the port.
So did you guys
Looks like
see
there's a
that
scoop there to your left.
that sort of bluish
Okay.
thing that's behind the slope?
Ah.
Behind the,
Right
Okay.
underneath the bamboo?
no, it's on the left of the screen now. Just the top of the slope. It was behind
Yeah.
that blue band
Yeah.
coral we were looking
Oh,
at.
to my right?
Yeah. So, Pilot, can we zoom just above that coral, kind of on the crest where the slope flattens out? There's a blue structure.
Yeah, video go partial.
Coming
I
partial.
think this is another holopus. One of the crinoids we've been seeing through the dive.
Okay, great. I hadn't seen that before. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we got some good imagery of it, much deeper, opening and closing.
Video's clear.
All right. Watch leads, do you want anything more of this?
Let's see. No, we're good here.
All right.
To the left or right? Where was the other coral? Can we look to the right? I think we
Yeah.
looked left already. It's good to know, too, we're seeing multiple of these black coral colonies. They're also branching fairly irregularly. This one just to the top left of the coral we just looked at. Pilot, we'll look at this fan directly below us here.
Copy that.
It's good to know that those black corals, though, are branching fairly irregularly, and
Video
the
go
one
for
to the
fan.
upper left of the bamboo
Okay,
coral had a
going for a
branch coming
fan.
right off the midsection. And this one looks like an
Your
octocoral
toes about to
we're looking
touch.
at right here ahead of us.
Yeah.
Would you like me to come out a little bit more? Oh, something.
Sorry, there's a
Oh. Fish.
There's a fish.
I think it's gone. All right, let's refocus on the fan.
Okay.
This is
Coming
a
in
rather large
partial.
coral fan for this family. possibly in the genus Chrysogorgia.
Yeah, this is a tough one, Steve. It's I agree. It's definitely in that family, Chrysogorgiidae, but
I have more pilot.
color, the
yeah,
skeleton,
go ahead,
the structure makes me think of something like
Okay, that's
Metallogorgia or Pseudochrysogorgia.
Right.
The shape definitely more Chrysogorgia-like.
Yep. I can see at least 2 associates as well. One smaller looking shrimp and one large shrimp inside. Any way we can get the backside of the colony to see how it's attached to the rock? Pilot?
Yeah, video good, come wide.
Okay, coming wide. That's full wide pilot.
Great, thank you.
I've also noted in the area there are some smaller colonies of Stichopathes. It looks like a different species than what we were seeing down deeper, but Stichopathes, black coral whips.
Alright, video zoom in on that.
Okay, coming in.
Let's see if that gives it the base to us.
It looks like it might. There it goes.
So
That's full
the
zoom.
skeleton looks rather dark on the branch tips and at the base, and it does look lighter in the middle.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sinking too. I'll come back.
Okay, should I zoom out, pilot?
Yeah, that's alright. Bounce back. Yeah, go ahead, come partial video.
Okay. That's partial.
Copy. Well, actually, do you want a better image of the base, or is that good?
I think that's enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll work with
Okay.
that.
Alright,
Coming out, pilot.
great.
Okay, that's
thank you.
full wide.
We just wanted to make sure it wasn't attached to a longer stalk. It looked to be firmly cemented perpendicular to the rock underneath.
Copy that.
There's some really brittle stars that have really long arms. This is something new to this expedition.
Yep. There's a few here, brittle stars,
Go ahead, Bridge.
feather stars.
Alright, watch it. At this point, do you want me to stay on the wall, or do you want me to
You would
get
like
on
to move
top
10
of it?
degrees to port. Let me just check with the pilots, and I'll give you a quick call back. Hey, pilots, if we're going to be here for a second, the bridge would like to move 10 degrees
Where
to
do you
port.
think is
That's
more
fine.
likely that we can?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think we're moving.
I'll
we can
let 'em
always we can always
Bridge is
keep looking at
ROV now.
corals around the
Feel free to
edges
count
here.
10
They're
degrees
likely
to port.
to occur, but if we're looking for fishes, do you think it's better to be on top or
Copy
on the
that.
ledge?
Just call down
I
when
would
you're
say,
set
can
and
we
ready.
be on top close, well, maybe between the ledge and the top? Like,
Yeah, just kind of ride the corner.
yeah, right on the, so maybe if we do see some fish in the distance, but yet maybe you could identify what's on the wall.
Yeah.
A
Back
happy
glares
medium.
from the craft there.
So we can see, so we can see down the wall, but see fishes in the distance.
I'm not sure, maybe. Do we try to move it?
No, there's not much.
Video is switching
time
out, pilot.
left.
Copy. Thanks, video.
We'll see what Roland says.
Video glare yesterday, and I don't think it was that bad, but in the top right corner, what eventually solved it was bringing the lower starboard almost all the way stowed.
You see fishes?
Okay.
No, I think
Try that.
there's
Oh,
another ledge.
Reduced our light
You see?
side, but
But we had extra light, so we were okay.
video, go for quick zoom. Is that?
Oh, here's a shark.
Is
That a
that
shark?
could that potentially be the fish that laid the egg? Or that that species of
Video,
fish?
I'm going to sneak up to it.
Lasers are clear.
Copy.
Is that another?
I got him.
Great, thank you.
I think it might actually just be a dead or dying Chrysogorgiid coral, similar to the one we had just imaged, but it doesn't look very healthy. So we'll document this fish and then we'll move along the ledge. I think that's the consensus with our scientists on shore.
Copy that.
Sharks are fish.
I'm going to attempt to swing to get its side video, but it might move.
Okay, this is a partial at the moment.
So
Yeah,
if
let me do a quick zoom, and then we'll come out.
so
It's
this
still there.
this could be a cat shark.
Oh, sorry, video. You could do a quick full zoom in case it flies as I try to get a little closer.
This much movement is not usable in the video.
All right, when you come out then?
Okay.
Andrea Quattrini, one of our shoreside scientists, says it's in the genus Scylorinus, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Did you already postulate that is this who's leaving those egg cases around?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we did mention that. It's definitely a process that we see a lot in the Gulf of Mexico. Cat sharks laying egg cases on corals, and it's we've also seen egg cases like that on other expeditions in this area.
Good
Our
copy,
video
Bruce.
when you
Thank
come on in.
Little tilt down.
Got it.
Pilots and watch leads, just to let you know, we have about 24 minutes left in the dive.
Thank you, Nav. Okay, I think, let's see, any particular part of the shark that is best to get close-ups, or just generally? I think we've got as good as we can get for now.
All right. If you're happy with that science, just let me know and I'll move on.
Yeah, I think we can move on.
All right. Video, if you're happy, good. Come on.
So I'm thinking
Could we get lasers on that too before we go?
You got it. Sorry, got it.
thinking we could stretch out a little further this way, which should be slightly downhill.
Yeah.
And then we could turn past back what we already saw and then try to go uphill to the top.
Yeah, so it looks like there's still a significant amount of height left to go.
Yeah, on my port.
Sounds good. Ride this edge.
So how tall is this? It's like 3 meters?
I can put my butt out, maybe. $3 meters?
Yeah. Nice.
Can we look at the star to the left-hand side?
Yeah.
I'm noticing some smaller colonies of that Chrysogorgiid that we imaged coming up the hill here. We're going to grab a quick shot of this sea star, since it's one we haven't seen.
Our video could come partial.
And I
Get rid of
think this
lasers
might
when we
also
go
be
by it.
one of the same sea stars we saw just
Thank you.
about an hour ago or so.
Demaria.
Tamaria, yeah.
All right, video.
Well,
go
it's
ahead.
always worth a second look
Take what
because
you
it looked quite pale last time. This one looks a little bit beefier.
Put it center.
Possibly having lost some appendages. Some of the tips of the arms look recently regrown. Okay, pilots, we're not going to dwell too long on the star. We want to take a look at the fish.
Copy that. Video whenever you're
Did
happy.
you get a look at the thing on the left? I couldn't tell if it was a coral or an anemone.
Should we turn
Yeah.
back for the peak now?
I
Yeah,
think
let's do it.
Sorry, pilot, can we go back in on to the left of the star?
Yeah.
Just for a quick
Video.
zoom.
Go back on in, please. We go just to the left.
Looks to me like could be an anemone, although can't really see past it to see if there's any skeleton underneath. So I think that'll have to suffice for now.
All right. Video, if you're happy, come on out.
Yeah, I
All
think
right,
it's an
well,
anemone.
actually, at this point, we could potentially keep following the ledge, but we also have a little bit of slope left.
Okay.
Do you want us to go towards the slope?
Yeah, let's hit that slope.
Great.
I had thought that this was the summit here, but we
Yeah,
definitely want
sonar is
to reach
picking
the
up a-
pinnacle.
Yeah, might be picking up one last bump.
Maybe you can
Hey,
look up
Steve.
past it for fish.
Hello,
as you
Chris
go
Ma.
along.
So I appreciate your taking the time to stop. The beast you're looking at is in the same family, but is in the genus Lynchia. This is Lynchia bouvier,
Drop a target here.
and it's
He's,
one of
eastern
the
end.
more commonly encountered deep-sea phytoasterids. It usually has large,
Just
warty
go west.
bumps on it.
You said eastern.
And
Yeah.
not much is
Oh,
known
actually
about it.
does
This
rise
is,
quite a bit,
I think it's been seen before, but always happy to have another sighting. I also wanted to point out something kind of neat.
You can see the top there.
You were looking at
Yeah.
earlier at a lot of the soft crinoids, the endoxocrinis, and they have kind of shortened tails.
Right.
And one of the things I'm noticing is that you also have a lot
Maybe
of
I should move
sideroid
due
sea urchins in the proximity. And the thing is,
and then
sideroid
work our way.
urchins feed
then
on
we can
those.
work our way to the
They
east.
do so by presumably a very slow chase, wherein
Yeah, he's
they
getting pretty
hunt
far out,
down and
20.
devour that sort of the stalk or the tail. So that
Bridge is
also might
already
explain why you're seeing so many stalked crinoids with short sort of distal ends, because the sea urchins are probably chasing after and eating them.
Very cool. Very
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
And there might have actually been an urchin perched precariously on one of the sponges, I think. The one that was next to the shark. I was doing something else at the time. But that might have, I don't know if they've ever been seen feeding on sponges. It might not have been predation, but
Got a little pier left.
but if you see one again perched on something like that, maybe there's something else going on. They're just feeding on everything. Hard to say. But thanks again for stopping, and I know you have a short time with the rest of the dive, but enjoy the rest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, we did see a number of these sideroids feeding on a range of different things. Yesterday we saw one very clearly feeding on sargassum, phytodetritus. Today they seem to be on sponges, but we've also seen them on deepwater corals, chomping down on the polyps.
A lot of times on the AUV and ROV work on the west coast, I've seen them a lot on sponges. So I wonder if they are. There's a sea star right ahead.
I see it.
On the lasers, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a quick snap soon.
All right, video snap zoom it.
This one looks like a goniasterid.
Is that all you want, science?
Yeah, that's adequate. Thank you.
All right. Video, come on out.
We want to make sure we really get to the top of this mound, so that we can check that box.
So we are right now at 466 meters. looks like a dark sea urchin to the bottom left.
Okay, pilots around
Maybe.
Oh, there's something more substantial up here.
00 on the UTC clock. I will have you begin to start preparing to ascend. We need to be off the bottom by 20:05.
Sounds good. Well, looks like this is the top now.
Yep. For those of you who have stuck with us through the whole dive, we've reached the top.
So not
what we
too
thought
close
last
with the
time.
purple blob.
Go ahead,
on
Bridge.
the screen.
I was a little confused.
So I actually do think this is the top, right? I guess we'll check the sonar when we get there.
Yeah, I'll peek over.
Good copy,
to make
thank
sure.
you.
Is there a substantial current in this area?
Pilots, did you overhear that?
No, I wouldn't say there's much difference from current from earlier. It's pretty calm.
Okay.
You can kind of see particles moving, but they're slow.
All right, so you still have uphill to your port about 20 meters out, right?
Yeah.
If you look in your sonar.
It looks down a little there. Yeah, watch it. It looks like there's still a little slope left. Do you want me to, 10 minutes left, do you want me to hang out here or keep following the slope?
Could we maybe keep on?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So there was, we're pretty much done with that last move. Are we looking to start heading to the west now?
Yeah, like, maybe like 305?
305?
Yeah, that's the way your sonar says.
We're looking for 20.
Oh, wait, but I am...
Where are you looking though?
See a fish?
Up.
Fish.
There's a fish.
Wait, yeah,
Swimming.
I'm looking 305. That sounds
Or is
good.
that a
Oh, no, it's
siphonophore?
siphonophore.
It's only...
See the slope there.
Yeah, it's only 12 meters ahead of you. I think that's probably the top. So.
Yeah, so like 300?
Yeah.
290 between?
Yeah, 300, like 20 meters, 15 or 20.
It's a number of these black corals
Maybe
we've been
15.
observing that have been branching somewhat irregularly.
Okay, 15 meters at 300 degrees.
A lot of the colonies seems to branch at least once
Sean, you can plant
off the main axis. Some of them branch
I forgot
twice
to pack the
closer to
flags.
the top of the colony.
Add it to the checklist.
Not sure if we made a positive ID on those, but we got some really great images. It could be either parentopathes or some relative. Yesterday's dive, we were around 270 meters depth, so we're about 200 meters deeper than yesterday. The substrate and the attached fauna look a little bit different, but we haven't seen any snappers or groupers just yet.
Bridge, this is ROV now. Looks like that move's coming to a completion here shortly. Could we put in another one? Excellent. We're looking to go 15 meters at 300 degrees, speed 0.2 knots, please.
How's that little loop doing?
I think it'll
Good
come
copy.
out. I'll
Thank
just
you.
keep an eye on it when you stretch out.
Copy.
Should start thinking about that.
The top of this mound is still yielding more and more terraces. Kind of like a wedding cake.
What is that shiny object just right of center?
Right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Some of these stock crinoids. And a couple looks like small cup corals. Are those cup corals or anemones?
Yeah, several of them look like cup corals to me.
Okay, video's clear.
Alright. Come wide then. Oh,
there's a fish. Ah.
Success.
There's an octopus below you also.
Oh. Alright, go for fish first.
That's a snapper, right?
Laser's clear.
You can go ahead and get him for me, co-pilot. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm not.
Come
Any of
back.
the fish experts on land? Is this a queen snapper? I've only seen them dead.
Side video.
Its lips look sort of queen-like.
Yeah.
Well, if this was the only queen snapper or snapper we see, I think we can consider that mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Shall we check out the purple blob?
Science, are you happy with this, or?
Can we hold it another 30 seconds or so?
Yeah.
Maybe in the last 3 minutes you can go and peek over the
Do you have any
area.
more zoom out of curiosity? There we go.
There you go. Oh, it is. Can we zoom a little bit more, if
max
it's
zoom.
possible, to the mouth?
I can get closer and then resume. Would that work?
Yeah, if that's possible.
Video come partial for me.
Good copy, Bridge. Thank you. Pilot says that last move has been completed. I don't know if we
Our
have
video
enough
go
time for
here
another
in
one.
case it swims.
Yeah, he has enough tether to get right on top there. So.
Copy that.
Go on in video.
And just to clarify, you all have 3 more minutes before we need to start lining
Alright.
up to ascend.
Max zoom.
One of our short side scientists believes that this might be Atlantic rubyfish.
All right, thanks, pilot.
All right.
We'll take, I guess we have time for one more look off into the distance across the top of this.
Yeah, copy that.
Let's see if that was an octopus or no.
I think we have to skip it, our video. We're down to our last 2 minutes. And we gotta get at the tippy top.
460 meters or so is the top of this knoll.
I'm going to start stowing the lowers.
Yeah, copy that.
In terms of attached fauna at the top of this, we're looking at black corals, relatively small
Video
colonies
view.
of black corals,
Zoom, is that
occasional
fish? Nope, never mind.
occasional stalked crinoids
Come
as
back
well.
in, thank you.
The sediment is mostly soft, consolidated from what it appears.
Yeah, watch it. I'd say with sonar and what we're seeing, this I think would be the tippy top
Okay.
Okay.
for today's dive.
So nothing off in the distance. Not really obvious that there are large schools of any sorts of fishes here at the moment.
Upper's okay, co-pilot? To stow?
Yeah, go for it. Just seeing if I see any last minute fish.
Yeah, there's some small crevices in the carbonate. but I don't see any fishes from here. Well, just in our last 60 seconds or so, we'll recap what we have done today on this dive for everyone who's watching at home.
Great.
We started out at around 772 meters.
Set up 'cause I just
we
have
climbed
to turn to port.
over a steep
Yes.
section of seafloor, where we observed a number of attached organisms.
All right, do we back up a little bit?
Throughout the dive,
yeah.
everything was
Back up
more or
and
less
come up a little, just to make sure the tether's blown.
sedimented, but there were occasional spots where rocky substrate occurred, and we have some samples of stelastrid corals from that area. We were able to
wonder how to keep an eye
also
on
sample
that.
in some of the flatter and sedimented areas
got
the
that right.
Natchalid sea pen, and
If we push right underneath it, you can use
a
the PTZ.
clip of
Rotate it
yeah.
about it.
what we've
Okay.
tentatively identified as
Maybe if
Caligorgia
I back up a little more,
octocoral
it'll shift it
with a brittle star
right underneath your stomach.
from about 550
That
meters.
sounds good.
All right, Washleys, that's about the dive there. We're going to start to set up and get off bottom.
Excellent, thank you guys.
Thank you.
So we've just reached this promontory at depth around 460 meters or so,
See the tether below me.
almost exactly, about 5 meters difference from what our multi-beam bathymetry was showing, which is pretty good.
Okay, I can see it in the PTZ.
And we were trying to
you want me
document
to start
deepwater
turning?
fishes, of which we saw,
yeah.
I guess,
When do you
I
start?
don't know if the
and we'll
ruby fish
see
classifies as deepwater.
Okay.
if the loop
but-
kinda
Yeah, I would
stays there.
imagine.
Yep. So I guess we did find one fish in the top of this knoll. And yeah, I would call this a rather successful dive. We documented many invertebrates,
Pretty skillful.
several fishes, especially down deep. We saw, I would say, a higher diversity of fishes in the 6 to 750 meter range. Moving shallower, not as many
Getting lost
fishes,
in the
but
lights now.
diversity of
Yeah.
invertebrate life,
I can
including
turn on
sponges, deepwater corals.
the
A lot of
athletes.
echinoderms.
Yes, definitely
Maybe, I
dominated
think
by
it's
sea
just 'cause
stars
it's in my spotlights now, 'cause it's behind me. So
and
I
feather
lost it.
stars, brittle stars as well.
Why
So
don't you,
for the science party, who's on the
start
line, we will be
slowly
starting our post-dive
Pushing
call,
forward now.
and
Pushing
immediately
forward.
followed by the dive planning for tomorrow's dive, which will be at the Buck Island National Park,
because I should be able to see it in my
and
tether
we
camera,
will
actually.
let everyone know
Yeah,
about
rising,
what
pushing
we
out a
planned
little
for
bit.
that
Yeah, if you
dive.
guys
Our
are
dive
even
track
with
has
me.
changed from what we had planned
A little more
yesterday,
down.
but we'll be sure to update you on how that goes. So in about, let's say, 10 minutes, we'll reconvene here for our post-dive talk, and we'll go from there. So thanks to everyone at home for joining,
Yeah, don't
and
push tight,
hope to
I
see you
guess,
back
so maybe
tomorrow.
we can see it.